All right, let me ask you something. What if there was one single thing you could do that would have an immediate and long-lasting positive impact on your brain?
Something that could right away, instantly, make you feel better and help you focus? I mean, you'd do it, right? Of course you would. But hang on. What if that exact same thing could also protect your brain for the long haul? Like actually help defend it against scary stuff like Alzheimer's and dementia? Now that is a total game changer. Well, the answer, according to a ton of neuroscience research, is actually incredibly simple. It's physical activity. Yeah, just moving your body. It's one of the most transformative things you can do for your brain, and the benefits are immediate, they're long-lasting, and they're protective. And look, this isn't just some abstract theory. A neuroscientist, Dr. Wendy Suzuki, actually discovered this by basically running an experiment on herself, completely by accident. Let me tell you her story.
So, picture this. Dr. Suzuki is this brilliant scientist, totally absorbed in her work on memory. But outside the lab, she was isolated, she was out of shape, and frankly, she was pretty miserable. Her big wake-up call came on a river rafting trip where she realized she was the weakest person there. So she did what any type A personality would do. She hit the gym hard. A year and a half goes by, and that's when she has her aha moment. She's sitting at her desk working on this super difficult research grant, and this one thought pops into her head, a thought she'd never had before. Wow, grant writing is actually going well. She suddenly realized her focus was sharper, her long-term memory felt better, and that's when the dots connected. It had to be the exercise. It was changing her brain. So, being the curious neuroscientist she is, she dove right into the research to figure out what was going on. And what she found was tons of science backing up her own experience. And it all boils down to 3 huge brain-changing benefits. So, first up, the immediate effects. A single workout gives your brain a bubble bath of good mood neurotransmitters. We're talking dopamine, serotonin, noradrenaline. That's why you get that energy boost right after a workout. But it's not just about mood. Your ability to shift and hold your attention improves for at least 2 hours afterwards, and even your reaction times get quicker. Now, to get the long-term changes, we need a quick brain anatomy lesson. 2 key areas. First, the prefrontal cortex, right behind your forehead. Think of it as your brain's CEO. It handles decision-making and focus. Then there's the hippocampus, which is absolutely essential for making and keeping new long-term memories. Remember those 2. This brings us to benefit number 2. The long-lasting effects. Because with consistent exercise, you are literally changing your brain's anatomy and physiology. Exercise stimulates the birth of brand new brain cells in the hippocampus. It actually makes it bigger, which improves your memory. And at the very same time, it strengthens your prefrontal cortex, improving that executive function and focus. But maybe the most incredible benefit of all is what exercise does for your brain's future. You can think of it as the best insurance policy you could ever get. So why is strengthening those 2 specific spots, the prefrontal cortex and the hippocampus, so critical? Well, because those are the 2 brain areas that are most vulnerable to neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's. They're also the first to decline in normal aging. And this leads to Dr. Suzuki's perfect metaphor. She says you should think of exercise as a supercharged 401k for your brain. Every time you work out, you're not just getting sweaty, you're making a deposit, building up this big, strong, resilient brain. It's brilliant. Now, let's be really clear here. Exercise is not a cure for these diseases. But what it does is build a bigger, stronger brain with more connections. It gives you a cognitive reserve. So if a disease like Alzheimer's does start to creep in, it takes much, much longer for it to have any noticeable effect on your life.
Okay, so you're probably thinking, all right, I'm in, but what's the minimum I have to do to get all these amazing benefits? Well, the science on this is actually pretty straightforward.
And here's the best part. You don't have to become a marathon runner. The rule of thumb is just 3 to 4 times a week. That's it. That's a goal that's totally, completely achievable for almost everyone. So here's the simple breakdown of your weekly goal. 3 to 4 times a week. Make sure each session is at least 30 minutes long. And here's the kicker. You gotta get your heart rate up. We're talking about aerobic exercise, the kind that gets you a little out of breath. And no, you absolutely do not need a gym for this. Add a power walk around your neighborhood. Always, always take the stairs. Heck, even power vacuuming your house can count if it gets your heart pumping. So really, the main takeaway is this simple.
Bringing more exercise into your life isn't about some far-off future benefit. It gives you a happier, more focused life right now, today. And at the same time, it's building you a stronger, more protected brain for the rest of your life.
It's one of the most powerful tools you have. Moving your body can literally change the entire trajectory of your life for the better. So the only question left is, what are you going to do to get started?